are in the QBO gym, and this is where we have numerous hands-on exercises that simulate real-life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. Each month covers a variety of topics and scenarios, and to make it a little bit easier for you, we break it down into 4 different sections. So if you are looking to work on your bookkeeping skills, this is the place for you. And if you want to do an entire month's worth of these all on your own, be sure to join our free 5-day bookkeeping challenge. All you need to do is click on the link in the description. But let's go ahead and get into today's exercise, which is coming from our September Year 1 Strength Training section, where we really focus on prepayments. At the top here is an animated video to give you an understanding of what you, the bookkeeper, will be doing for your client Craig this month. Below that is an interactive pre-assessment quiz that relates to the video up above. Under that are all of the exercises in this section. And at the bottom here is an optional area where after you have gone through all of the exercises in this section and completed them, you will unlock some sample marketing posts that you can use on your LinkedIn to share with everyone what you have learned so far. So let's dive into today's exercise where we are going to practice receiving unearned income from customers. Go ahead and click on that link to have it pulled up for you. I have it here on the right side of my screen, so let's read through the scenario. As stated in the previous exercise, Craig landed his first snow removal client, Cool Cars. Craig will be clearing their customer parking lot and the sidewalks at the dealership. Craig needs to spend a lot of cash upfront on casual labor, ice melt, and rock salt, so he wants to require a prepayment from all snow removal customers. Craig decides to collect an upfront deposit of $1,000 from Cool Cars and asks you to bill against it as the services are delivered. Now, you will need to be in the sample company to do this exercise. If you are not sure how to get into the sample company or get your own free QBOA account, be sure to click on the link in the description. I have the sample company here on the left side of my screen. This is the dashboard and what it will look like when you sign in. So let's go ahead and get started with this exercise. And a really important note here, double check that you are in a new version of the sample company for this exercise. If you've been working in the strength training section and you did the previous exercise, make sure that you close out of it, sign out, close out of it, and then come back and open up a brand new session of the sample company, because we are doing a different version of how to do this prepayment versus the last exercise. So you need to make sure the scenario is the same, it's just a different method. So definitely make sure you are in a new version of the sample company. So as I mentioned here, you already learned the receive payment method in that last exercise. So now we're going to go through the more correct unearned income method. Now, because it is the most correct and GAAP compliant or GAAP compliant, the unearned income method is best used when there's outside reporting or a large number of deposits, retainers involved. It's also useful when the deposit will be used over multiple accounting periods since it doesn't require a journal entry. With snow removal, there's usually snow removed in December and then in the following year in January. So in this scenario, the unearned deposit method works well because you're splitting between 2 different accounting periods. There are several steps required in order to set up the receive deposits using this method. First, the account settings need to be adjusted. Then a liability account must be created in the chart of accounts. And then finally, a service item is set up that is tied to the liability account. To use the unearned deposit method, you must turn off the feature in QBO that automatically applies credits to open invoices. So let's go ahead and do that first. We need to click on the gear icon and then click on Account and Settings. So the gear icon is on the top right corner of the screen. Click on that, and then under your company, select Account and Settings. When it comes up, we're going to click on the Advanced tab. That is over here on the left side of the screen. It's the last one here. Click on that. You may get this pop-up here. I don't know why this does it. I think it's just a glitch in the sample company, honestly, because I haven't seen it in actual client books. So if you happen to get this, just go ahead and click on OK. Again, I don't know why that pop-up comes up, but you can just go ahead and click on OK. So we're going to click anywhere in the automation section to make it editable. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one down. So you can either click on that pencil icon or just click anywhere in there so it's editable. And then next to automatically apply bill payments, we're going to click on that toggle so it turns gray, indicating that it turns off. So that is this one on the very bottom, automatically apply bill payments. Go ahead and click on that toggle to turn it gray, and then click on the green save button. So now it has been turned off. We are good with this setting. So go ahead and click on the green done button on the bottom right corner of the screen. And now that setting has been saved for us. Now, set up the liability account to track the customer deposits on the balance sheet. Liabilities are things that Craig owes. In this case, it represents work that Craig owes his customers. So to get to the chart of accounts from the left navigation bar, you're going to hover over transactions and then select chart of accounts. So the left navigation bar is this black bar right here. Transactions is under dashboards, hover over that, and then select chart of accounts from that drop-down menu. Now we're going to create a new one, so go ahead and click on that green new button, and then let's go ahead and fill it out. In the account name field, we're going to type customer deposits. So click into that and go ahead and type that. In the account type field, we want to select other current liabilities. So click the down arrow, and then other current liabilities is about halfway down on that list. Click on that. And then in the detail type field, we want to make sure that deferred revenue is selected. It's already selected for me, so just double check that it is also showing for you. We're not going to fill out anything else here, so just go ahead and click on the green save button on the bottom right corner. And now that new account has been created. Next, set up a service item specifically to track customer deposits. It will be tied to the customer deposit liability account. So to get to that product service list, we're going to click on the gear icon and then select products and services. So once again, that gear icon on the top right corner, and then under lists is products and services. Let's go ahead and fill out that, create that new one. So click on the green new button, and then we're going to click on service. Go ahead and do that. And then let's go ahead and fill it out. So in the name field, we want to type customer deposits. Click into it and type that. Customer deposits. For the income account field, we're going to select customer deposits. This is a liability account, or this is the liability account that we just created. So click into that down arrow, and then you can scroll to find the liabilities. I can't remember where that is on the list. It must be higher up. Oh, there we go. It is not showing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to refresh my page, and then I'm going to try it all over again. Sometimes in the sample company, it doesn't immediately appear for us. And so if this happens to you, make sure to close out of it, refresh your page, and then we're going to start it all over again. So once again, click on that new button and then click on service. And then that name is customer deposits. And then in the for the income account field, we want to select customer deposits. So click the down arrow, scroll up, and here we go. Here are other current liabilities, and there is that customer deposits. So go ahead and click on it once you find it. And then you want to click on edit sales tax because this is non-taxable. So click on that blue wording down here. And then you want to scroll down, make sure you're kind of close to this scroll bar, otherwise you're going to scroll in this browse list. Go ahead and click on the button next to non-taxable and then select done. So now we have marked this service as non-taxable. We can go ahead and click on save and close. We're not going to fill out anything else here. So go ahead and do that. And now that customer deposit service has been saved. Now, once this step is complete, Craig will be ready to accept any customer deposits he wants. The reporting of these customer deposits will be GAAP compliant. So now you can use the unearned income method to accept Cool Car's $1,000 deposit. You will then issue the first snow removal invoice and use the deposit to pay it. So you're going to execute these steps from within the customer's account. So to get to their account from the left navigation bar, we're going to hover over customers and leads and then select customers. So that's over here on the left side. Here is customers and leads about halfway down, and then hover over that and then click on customers from that drop down menu. So first we're going to issue a sales receipt to record the $1,000 deposit. Let's click on Cool Cars, which is right here. It's the third one listed. And then we are going to, you'll see their information. Here is their, oh, I got a pop-up. If you get a pop-up, just go ahead and click out of it. Here are all of the transactions associated with them. And I am going to, if you have this bar, feel free to do this. I'm going to collapse it by clicking on these three lines and the arrow so that I can see my screen a little bit better. Now we're going to click on the drop down arrow on the new transaction button and then select sales receipt. So that is right here. Click on that. And then sales receipt is about halfway down. Click on that. And you will see a new sales receipt show up for us. Now, the nice thing about doing any kind of transaction within a customer account is that this information already populates for you. So we don't have to do those steps. Now, this sales receipt date is going to default to today. In real life, you would want this to match the date of the actual transaction. So just keep that in mind as you work in client books. In the deposit to field, we're going to select checking. So go ahead and click in that down arrow, select checking. In the product service field, we're going to select customer deposits. Now this will add the money to the customer deposits account, which we will later draw from. So go ahead and click into that field. And it happens to be this top one right here. Go ahead and select that. We don't need a description. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then in the amount field, they received a $1,000 deposit from Cool Cars. So let's go ahead and update that field to 1,000. When you hit the tab key over or click out of it, you will see that QBO has updated the sales receipt to reflect that $1,000. So now we can just go ahead and click on Save and Close. That is on the bottom right corner of the screen. Click on that. And once you do, that sales receipt has been saved and now the deposit has been recorded. If I scroll down here and look at their transactions, here is that sales receipt that we just created. So next we're going to invoice Cool Cars for snow removal. So we'll say that Craig has already done a service. He has already removed some of the snow. And so now it's time to invoice against that deposit that was just made. So we're going to once again click on that new transaction and this time select invoice, which is at the top of that list. And then once it comes up for us, once again, all of the information is showing up for us because we have done it within the customer account. So we just need to focus on filling out the rest of the invoice. So in the product service field, we're going to select maintenance and repair. So click into that. And I am going to, rather than scroll, I'm just going to type it so that I can have it show up for me a little bit easier. Once you find it, go ahead and click on it. You're going to get this description already pre-populate for us, but let's go ahead and delete it and make it a little more clear and detailed what this was for, which is snow removal. So go ahead and delete what is in that description field, and then go ahead and type in snow removal. In the amount field, we will say that he did $200 worth of service with the snow removal. So in the amount field, we're going to type $200. So click into that, type 200. When you hit the tab key over or click out of it, you will see that it has been updated for us. And now we can just go ahead and save and close this. So click the down arrow here and select Save and Close. And once you do, that invoice has been saved and you will see now that this invoice is showing up, that one that we just created. Now, the final task is to issue a credit memo to pay for the open snow removal invoice from the deposit. So to create that credit memo, we need to once again click on that new transaction button. And then we are going to select Credit Memo, which is a little more than halfway down the list. Once you click on it, you will get this transaction to appear for you. Once again, all the customer information has been created. In the product service field, we're going to select customer deposits. Now notice how you are using the same service that you used for the deposit when we created that $1,000 deposit. So let's go ahead and click into that field, and customer deposits is the very top of the list. Go ahead and click on that. And then the amount that we just used in that invoice is what we want to put here in that credit memo. So click into it, type 200, either hit the tab key or click out of it, and you see that it has been updated here from QBO. This is all good. We don't need to do anything else. So let's just go ahead and click on Save and Close. Click the down arrow, select Save and Close. And now that credit memo has been saved. So next, we're going to see how all of these transactions are reflected in reporting, so it's easy to see how much money is being held in customer deposits and the balance you have from each customer. However, it's worth noting that nowhere in the customer account is it clear that Cool Cars has $800 remaining as a deposit. You can see the original $1,000 deposit, which is right here, and the $200 invoice right here. You can also see that the invoice has been paid, showing right here. There's that paid because that credit memo has applied it, but there's no balance displaying $800, unlike when we were doing the receive payment method. It showed under, I think it was under, I don't remember if it was the invoice or the receive payment, but it was showing that $800 was a credit there. And it also showed it here as the open balance was showing as negative 800. So with that said, how can you find it? Well, since you can't see the deposit balance on the Cool Cars account, you'll have to look at some reports. The balance sheet will reflect all of the customer deposits Craig is holding and the balance for each customer. So to get to the reporting center, we want to, on the left navigation bar, click on reports. That's about halfway down on this navigation bar. Click on that. And then we want to run the balance sheet. So that is here in the favorites. It's also here under business overview. Go ahead and click on it. And once you do, you will see that the balance sheet has been run for you. Now, in the liabilities and equity section of the balance sheet, you will see the customer deposits account. So if I scroll down here, here is that liabilities and equity section. And then under other current liabilities, here's the total for it. Here is the customer deposits. It's showing as $800. The total of all customer deposits is going to be included here. We're only holding for a Cool Cars deposit right now, so that's why it's showing that $800. But you can find out more details about this. We're going to click on that $800 to see those details. So go ahead and do that. And when you do, you'll get this transaction report. If you click on the amount in the balance sheet, you can see the detailed transactions that comprise of that customer deposits account, which we are seeing right here. Now let's switch this to the classic view. This is the modern view. Currently, Intuit is moving all of their reports over from what they say classic view to the modern view. So it's just kind of a different way of looking at the reports. This is the modern view. Let's go back to the old way, that classic view. Click on that switch to classic view so that you can see it. And here it is. So here you can see the $1,000 initial deposit from Cool Cars, which is this sales receipt right here. If I scroll over, you see that $1,000. You can also see the $200 of that deposit was spent as recorded by the credit memo showing right here. Therefore, Cool Cars has $800 remaining on deposit with Craig to be used against future snow removal invoices. The trick for you is to remember to apply the deposited funds to each invoice. So you have to remember that if you have this deposit, you have to go through the steps that we just went through because there's not something that automatically shows in the customer account. This is the way that we just went through it is how you need to do it. Now, this report might have several different customers on it, so it's more useful to sort it by customer. You can also save the customized report for future reference. So right now we only have one for cool cars, so they are the only ones that show up. But in order to customize this report so that it's not sorting by customer deposits, but rather customers, what we want to do is click on the Customize button on the top right corner. Click on that. And then in the Group By field, we want to select Customer. Currently, it says Account, which is that customer deposits. So let's change that to Customers, and then Run Report on the bottom right corner. And now the transactions are organized by the customers. Now, with only one customer showing here, it's not as important, but with many customers, this customized report will be much more useful. You'll be able to see how much each customer has available still in their deposits. So let's save the customization so that you know how to save a customized report. Click on the green button right there. And then let's update this custom report name to say customer deposit balances. So delete that transaction report and type customer deposit, if I can spell, balances. And then you can go ahead and click on the save button down here on the bottom right of that drop down. So it says that it has been successfully saved, but let's see where you can find it. So go back to the report list by clicking on that on the top left corner. And to make sure that we have saved the report correctly, we want to click on the Custom Reports tab that is right here. And here you can see that the report has been saved and it is ready to be checked at any time. It's saved in this Custom Reports tab for quick access in the future. So you can always just click on this particular report name if you need to edit it. You can export it. Lots of different options here, but anytime you want to run this custom report, you would go to the Reporting Center, click on Custom Reports tab, and then click on this report here. So that is how you set up and use the unearned income method. Now, if you like this exercise and you'd like to do more like it, be sure to join our free 5-day bookkeeping challenge. All you need to do is click on the link in the description. We're going to continue on in the strength training section with our last exercise where we practice handling vendor deposits. And I will see you in the next video.